Hi everyone, my name is Love and I work at Bit on lanes and collaboration features. Previously, I was a product manager leading front-end infrastructure teams that design and maintain enterprise design system libraries. Today I'm here to announce our new feature at Bit called Component Compare. Component Compare is an extension to Bit that allows users to compare two component versions. It provides a unified interface where the end users can compare all the differences between the versions, whether it's how the component visually renders, changes to the documentation made, to the dependency graph, tests configured, changes to the source code, or changes to the extensions made to the component. At Bit, we build components independently and we introduce changes in versions. Locally, you import and create components in your workspace. After you have made changes, you export them to the remote scope. Today I'm going to show you an example of how we use component compare in our Bit workflow. This is my Bit workspace. As you can see, I have imported a component into my workspace, which is the component compare Bit extension. The component compare Bit extension extends the Bit UI and adds a new tab that allows users to go and compare two component versions. In Bit, we use lanes to introduce changes. You can think of lanes similar to branches, but unlike branches that are only on a single repository, the lanes can encapsulate changes from multiple repositories, and in Bit's universe, a component is a single repository. So a workflow with Bit to introduce a change to a component would look something like this. You would create a lane. The name of the lane should describe the intention of the change. In my case, the name of the lane is called docs update. And with this lane, I will be introducing some changes to the docs of the component. The component I've imported to my lane is the component compare extension, and I've made changes to the docs. Before I export these changes, I want to review these changes to make sure exactly what the changes I have made to it, and before I introduce to someone else. As you can see, if I am a product manager reviewing this change, there is a single place for me to go to see, hey, what are changes to the documentation? If I'm a designer who has made changes to the design language, and in this case, we've added a logo to it so users, when they're viewing the component on the scope, can see what icon is used to go to the compare page itself. So as a designer, if you're making changes to the compositions on how the component visually renders, there is the same place you can to see how it has changed between the version. If you're a dev and you have made changes to the source code, like to introduce the changes to the documentation and composition, I added two new files, the composition file and the docs file. And as a dev, I can see changes to the source code with this diff editor. If there were changes made to the test, you will see changes here, and it will also show you how long the two tests ran between the version itself. As you can see, it's a single unified interface. No matter who the end user is, you get all the differences you need to know between the component version so you can understand the change and introduce it later.